You're the only Bible that some people will ever read. I had to recently remind myself that not everybody knows the love of God. Not everybody knows the love that Jesus has for us. But understanding that a lot of the times there are people who have never went to church, people who don't know God's love, and they've never picked up a Bible in their life. For me, I grew up in the church. I knew about God's love. I seen God's love in my life, Jesus's love in my life, but I had to remind myself that not everybody has that experience. Not everybody had the same upbringing and exposure to God that I had, and I had to realize that sometimes you're the only exposure that people have to God's love and to the Bible. The way that you represent Christ, the way that you represent Jesus, do people see his love in you, or do people just see hate and anger? Reminding yourself, some people, they only see you. They see you and they know that you're a Christian. They know that you're a believer. You have faith and a good relationship with Jesus. Yet they see you doing all these things that don't represent him, that misrepresent him. And they're like, what's going on? I thought if you're saved by grace, if you're this person who has a personal relationship with Jesus, you are slow to anger, you're patient, you're kind, loving, generous, you're caring with all these people. Yet when they interact with you, they're left with a sour taste in their mouth. They're left with, why would I ever have a relationship with Christ when this is how people are? So understanding that you are the only Bible that some people will ever read. How do you represent God? How do you represent Jesus and the love that he has for us? Intentionally and actively thinking about, how do I represent him? Do the people I interact with, would they want to follow my God? Would they want to follow the God that I have a relationship with? Or do they see me and they're like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He's always so annoyed at the world. He's so snappy with people. He never loves. He's not patient. He's not kind, right? How do you represent God? And the image that people have of you will reflect the image that people have on God and Jesus' love for us. So intentionally asking ourselves the question of, how do I represent God? Am I a person who, when people see me, they're like, oh, how is this person so patient? How are they so kind? How are they so controlled over their emotions? Or do they look at you and they're like, they're just like everybody else? And people will not want a relationship with God if they see you and they don't want to be like you. You have to imitate Jesus. You have to try and be like Jesus. So we have to be that light in people's lives, that person who's always happy, that person who's always there for them. We have to try and be more like Jesus. When we're more like Jesus, people will ask us, hey, how did you become like that? How are you so slow to anger? How are you so understanding, loving, and kind? And that's when we have the perfect opportunity to tell people about the love that God has for us, the perfect opportunity to tell people what God is all about. I feel a lot of the times people will push Christianity, will push God onto people, when for me, I've always been somebody who, when somebody asks me, hey, how'd you become the way that you are? That's the bridge. That's your opportunity to tell them about God and the love that he has for us. We tell them how he changed our life, how we are saved through grace, through his grace and through his mercy. I feel like a lot of people have a sour taste when you tell them that you're a Christian. You're like, oh, this person's gonna tell me all these things that I'm doing wrong. They're gonna tell me that I'm not a good person, I'm not going to heaven, all these different things. But you have to let people think what they think, and you have to control who you are and show that person love, show that person kindness, no matter how they are to you. Jesus showed all these people kindness, all of these people love and understanding that didn't deserve it. Jesus said, forgive them, for they do not understand. A lot of us, when people do us wrong, or they have some sort of temper to us, they're not nice to us, they're mean to us, we do a whole 180. We switch up on them and we start hitting on them. We start giving them the cold shoulder. But Jesus was never like that. If people disrespected him, or people were mean to him, they were treating him poorly, he still treated them with love and kindness. And we have to be more like that. When somebody's showing us hatred, anger, we have to be slow. We have to be slow to anger and still show them kindness regardless of how we feel? How are you representing Jesus? How are you representing Christ? When somebody is arguing with you, you argue back. Or when somebody's arguing with you, you take a step back, you acknowledge them, and you have patience and kindness with that person. That person is attacking you, but you don't attack them back. You show them God's love and how you were transformed through Him. How do you represent Christ is a question that you have to ask yourself. Are you a walking Bible? Are you a walking representation of Christ, or do you misrepresent Him wherever you go? Do you claim to have this relationship with God, yet you're the same person that you were before? You're that person who argues, who's always angry, or are you that person who is loving and kind? Are you representing Christ well, or are you misrepresenting Him? You're the only Bible that some people will ever read.